All right, friends, welcome to part two of one of my favorite indicators, the RSI. Now, this is a little bit different than the prior lesson because today you're going to focus on a few of the nuances to the indicator, some things that you have heard me refer to if you've been a longtime member at Seventh Key in many of our videos. The thing that I'm going to teach you today are the basics. We're probably going to focus primarily on regular divergences, and we're going to also use the Bitcoin price chart that we did from part one, so that way you don't lose any context from the last lesson. Once you start to learn not only how to use the RSI effectively with the RSI moving average, knowing where the RSI is at being important to the price chart, and when it's above certain levels, namely the 70, things can be overbought. When it's below 30, they can be oversold. And that any movement above 50 is considered to be relatively strong, whereas any movement below the 50 line is considered to be a weak period. We went through that in part one. Now, part two, a little bit of thinking is going to go into this, but I'm going to make it incredibly simple so that once you start to identify these divergences, you'll start to see them everywhere. The one thing that I hasten to add, and I need to stress, is that divergences are merely warning signs. They are not guarantees that there is a turn approaching. But a lot of times, if you are, especially if you're an experienced trader and you're using the RSI in conjunction with other indicators, you will find that divergences can be a leading warning to a potential change in direction of price. Now, what you have in front of you is a cheat sheet. You can grab a cheat sheet from any of your favorite search engines. Did you know it's okay to cheat when it comes to not only our lessons here, but also in your own trading journey? Because having some of the cheat sheets that are stacked beside my desk help me oftentimes refer back to things that need to be on the top of mind when I'm trading. Plus, I think especially if you're a beginner, it helps to create and compile resources for yourself that you can look back to as a reference. Now, there are a lot of sites that'll explain what a specific indicator or oscillator is, but it's like a construction worker or someone that's a builder. We can all know what a saw, a drill, a hammer, whatever tool that you want to use can be, but it's the person that's skilled at using the tool that builds the house. We've gone through a lot of definitions thus far. We've gone through a lot of meanings of what certain indicators do, how they're supposed to be treated, but understanding how they work and how you can work them, incorporate them into your everyday trading and investing journey is what's most important to me. And it's obviously what's going to be most important to you, being more profitable and winning more and losing less. Now, the thing that you see in front of you is this divergence, the regular divergence on the left side bearish, on the right side bullish. I'll explain both, but we're going to focus on the regular divergence in today's session. Above is price. Note that we have a high here on the bearish side. This is the bearish example in this box, and then a higher high, but the RSI has a high and a lower high. Whenever you see the two diverge, that is what we refer to as regular bearish divergence. On the bullish side, where price makes a lower low, so here we have a low and then a lower low, and the RSI makes a low and a higher low, that is what we refer to in our technical analysis game as bullish divergence, okay? Hidden divergence is a little trickier. It takes your eye a little time to become accustomed to it, but it's where price is making a lower high and the RSI is making a higher high. And on the flip side for the bulls, it's when price is actually making a higher low and the RSI is making a lower low. Now, as mentioned, we're going to go and look at the RSI study that we did for Bitcoin. Now, I actually saved all these wonderful little Christmas colors for us all, except this time I used circles. And I want to just, again, refresh your memory to how powerful the RSI is on its own, okay? Each one of those circles indicates some type of action that happened on this particular RSI. The green circles represented periods of time where the RSI crossed above the RSI moving average. The red circle denotes a period of time where the RSI dropped below the moving average. Okay, we talked about where the RSI is in relationship to the 70, 50, and 30 level being important, but that's why I think it's really critically important that you incorporate an RSI moving average in all of your work, because when you just look at all of these cycles for Bitcoin, frankly, it didn't miss any of them. The only time is where I have chop right here. This actually coincided with the 2019 cycle. That's the only time it whipsawed a few investors, and it also coincided with the COVID-19 low. So that was a very anomalous time, not just for Bitcoin and stocks. It was an anomalous time for history. We'd never seen the economy shut down like we had. So that knee-jerk reaction was actually a lot of chop. But when we take it and consider what all of these lovely colored circles did, is it got us into the bull phase when we needed to be, and it got us out when we needed to be because of the crosses. So I need you to know that first before we start identifying divergences. And the one thing you're going to note, this is a monthly chart. Most times when I'm looking for divergences, you'll find me doing it on the weekly and 2-week for Bitcoin, and a lot of times on the daily and weekly for stocks. That's just a best practice that I'm sharing with you. Depending on the time frame in which you are trying to invest for or potentially trading for, the lower time frames will give you the quicker signals with divergences. But we're going to stick to Bitcoin for now, and just again pointing out where we left off. This little period here that I call chop and consolidation, the one thing I want to draw your attention to is that when we did get the bull cross, in spite of the chop, we never revisited this low in spite of this COVID low right here. So one could have actually gotten into Bitcoin right here, had a nice ride up, a scary ride down. They would have never revisited the price entry point that they got in from the trigger that the RSI and RSI moving average gave. But the real start of the bull happened after the secondary bull cross. Okay. But each one of these cycles would have told you when to be long Bitcoin and when to be out of Bitcoin. Okay. And I'm foregoing this part right here because we're currently in the midst of watching where we're at in the cycle now. And I don't want to spoil the fun for any Bitcoin bears or bulls. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete everything. Okay. Now, what we're going to drop to is we're going to drop to a weekly time frame first. And I'm going to zoom in on specific areas of study for any newcomer here to identify. Now, one thing that I like to do, I always like to draw a box over a specific study. So for example, this area right here is a particular area of interest for me. This represents our double top from 2021, this being our $65,000 peak and the secondary one being a $69,000 peak. By definition, I'm going to explain why we entered into a bear market just using the RSI. Are you ready for it? So let's do this. So first thing we need to know is we need to identify where our high was. And I would identify the first high being right back here in March of 2021. Then we had a final peak that came in right around November of 2021. And I'll go ahead and label this as a higher high. And I'll just simply put 2 H's there so that you know that represents a higher high. What I want you to do is now draw your attention to the period of time where this high was made and this high was made, and then reference the RSI below corresponding directly underneath. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Did the RSI make a higher high or did it make a lower high? I think the answer is obvious. So here's our high that married with the first high in price above in 2021. However, as price went on to make a higher high, 69,000 in November of 2021, the RSI made a lower high. Okay, so we'll just identify that with an LH here. Okay, so what I will often do in my lessons, you'll see me do this a lot. I'll take a trend line and I'll denote that with just a slanted line, explaining to the audience that I'm speaking to and talking about markets with. I'll say, friends, we have some issues. We have a bearish divergence developing on the price chart. And I'll often mention that with a word of caution to say that this is merely a warning. But the reason why this is important is because in the case of Bitcoin, if we went back to our monthly study, what you would have noticed was there was a key trigger that happened about where this green line's at. Okay, and I'm going to label it for you. Because once this divergence played out with the higher high, price did what? It absolutely 100% collapsed. And it wasn't a small collapse. We went from $69,000 peak to the FTX low, which represented a move of well over 70%. Okay, so that's really important. You know that. But now we're going to study the similar area. I'm going to get rid of everything here. Now I'm going to study another area using the weekly Bitcoin price chart and teach you where you could have found hidden, in this case, is regular divergence, but it looks hidden, at least to the untrained eye. Okay, so we're going to study the period of the bottom of the Bitcoin price cycle back in 2022. Now I want you with your eye to identify what you're looking at specifically with a low. So the first low came in right here, and I'm just going to identify that by stating what it is. And then we had a secondary low that was a very vicious low. I actually was in this cycle, if you have been following me on Public X, I actually called the low on Bitcoin to be around 17,000. I missed it by about 1,500 bucks. We had a lot of negative news that came out, but getting within a few points wasn't too shabby. But here's the key with this. You had a primary low, and then you had a primary lower low, but down below on the RSI, let's focus on the RSI for the moment. So I'm going to zoom this down so that we can pull it up and actually represent where the low came in. We will identify that with a vertical line. Okay, low there. And then where was our lower low? We'll just identify it right next to it with the line. Now we'll come back and identify what was happening on the RSI. Was it making a higher low or a lower low? The answer is obvious, and the trained eye will pick up on this. After you get familiar with looking for them, you will be looking for them everywhere, okay? And this basically became a bullish divergence that transpired that actually marked the bottom for Bitcoin. That is a very powerful lesson. And here, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to get rid of the drawings, and I'm going to show you where the astute observer would have stated, okay, we had bullish divergence here. When would have been the trigger point where you could have safely gotten long? You would look for the 50 level. The 50 level being the midline on the RSI chart, which came in right here. All right. And yes, there was a period of a bearish period, but guess what? We kind of hugged this 50 line even during our corrections. But once price had gotten over the 50 line, that marked the very start of the bull market. So we'll write that down, start of bull. And to confirm this or even smooth it out further, you could even go to a 2-week chart. Again, just showing this for a reference point here. Notice that you could have even gotten a little bit closer into that bullish cross that happened after identifying the bullish divergence on the chart. And you, my friend, would have, believe it or not, you would have gotten about 90% of the entire move of Bitcoin. And that, even though this cycle is the one we're studying, and even though it's not been as extreme as the prior cycles due to it being a maturing asset, every $100 invested would have become $600 by using one indicator with a moving average and identifying the elements of where a bullish divergence was at and getting out of harm's way when you noticed where a bearish divergence was at. Friends, these are powerful, small lessons that if you can digest them and start to incorporate some of this into your practice of looking at charts, looking at all types of charts, not just cryptocurrencies, look at individual stocks, look at commodities, look at bonds, look at currencies, regular Forex exchange currencies. You can make money if you can identify a shift in trend before the rest of the crowd does. And as a matter of fact, you'll get more of the move than a lot of the retail crowd simply because you're looking for elements on the chart that 90% of retail investors don't even know exist. So this concludes our section on divergences. I really appreciate you taking the time with me for this 2-part series on the RSI. I'm looking forward to incorporating even more fun tools that you can use in your trading journey and helping you to make more and lose less through all of this. Thanks again.